guys, Mr. Jankowski here. I am on Belle Isle right now, and we are learning about different aspects of history in Detroit. So we kind of follow along with the British, the French, but I have a question that comes to mind. Who was here before the French and the British? Because they were explorers and they found this land, but there was somebody living here before. So we're going to take a look at who was living in this area before the American Revolution, before the first French settlers. So the earliest evidence in life in Michigan was found about 11,000 to 12,000 years ago. Archaeologists found a couple of things here in Michigan. They found a couple broken stone tools, a spear point, some animal bones, and the remains of a fire hearth. The people that were living at this time could have been following large animals like caribou. And just for some of us, an archaeologist, they are people who study those who lived in the past through items that they left behind. So the archaeologists, they divided the different ways of life into different time periods. The first one, between 9,000 and 12,000 years ago, was the prehistory. Then we have the Archaic, which is between 3,000 and 9,000 years ago. Coming closer to our era that we're looking at is the Woodland time period, which is between 3,000 years ago and the 1600s. And then from the 1600s to the present is what is known as the Euro-American time period. So what we learned was that Native Americans did not have a written language. We learned about them through clues that they left behind. Such clues include fragments of pottery, spear points made out of stone, and tools made of animal bones. As evidence was gathered, it was seen that many Native American tribes and settlements were located in the Great Lakes regions near river valleys or near the shoreline for easy transportation. Tribal settlements were not permanent during this time. They had groups moving around, but they didn't really have a specific spot that they called theirs. Among the earliest Michigan settlers here were a prehistoric people called the Hopewell. They were called the Hopewell because they were named after an Ohio farmer who happened to find burial mounds on his land. So they lived in Michigan along the western and southern parts of the Lower Peninsula. And at that time, there was a huge trading network in the middle of the United States. They found different materials in these burial mounds, such as Michigan copper, shells and pearls from the Gulf of Mexico. They found volcanic rock from the Rocky Mountains and shark's teeth from Virginia's Chesapeake Bay. The Hopewell tribe could be described as both hunters and gatherers and farmers. Burial mounds were very important to the Hopewell tribe. That's why it's surprising that the mounds stopped showing up. But there are 17 mounds that can be found, and they are in the forest right near Grand Rapids, Michigan. They are called the Norton Mounds. The most puzzling discovery was something called the garden beds. They were carefully designed but destroyed by plows. They consisted of ridges 18 inches high of soil, and it stretched acres. But the function of these is still a mystery, and they were found in Michigan. Another mystery involves the copper fields of the Upper Peninsula. An unknown tribe or tribes mined these fields near Keweenaw Peninsula and Isle Royale. They made invaluable tools with these materials, and these materials were found as far south as the Gulf of Mexico by Native American tribes there, and between the Rockies and the Alleghenies Mountains. Now, when the Europeans first started arriving here in Michigan, the use and mining of copper was unknown to those native tribes. I hope you learned a little bit about those that lived here before the European settlers came. That's it for now. I'll see you later in the next video.